Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to another session. In last class we were talking about control design. We studied the philosophy of control design. But today we will talk about robotics control example, and we will try to use whatever we studied in last class. So let's start. If we talk about the control of robot, it seems to be very difficult, but if you follow the design procedure and what we studied in last class, it's going to be very easy for you to do that job. So let's do it. The first and foremost important thing here is to select the right instrument to do that particular control of robot. So what we have to do is we need to have a proper instrumentation for that. What I mean by instrument, like for example here, if you're at right position of conveyor B, so there should be some sensor, some limit switch to identify that you're at the right position of conveyor B and it's the time to release the work. So, and there should be a sensor here also at the conveyor A if you're at the right position. So that is limit switch 1 that is doing that job, and LS2 is to detect whether you are at the right position of conveyor B. So and then when you have grabs the work, like for example if you're moving on, and by the way, if you haven't studied last class, I highly recommend you to first watch last class, otherwise it will go far away from your I know that it's a series, so it's a training series. If you haven't studied last class, I highly recommend you first watch that, otherwise you will not pick up what I'm trying to say here. So if you have grabs the work, there is a switch here, also limit switch, that will detect whether robotic arm have grabs the work or not. So like that, we have another sensor here, that is detect workpiece. If something is there to pick up, that time robotic arm will should have to pick up, right? So there's a detect piece or detect workpiece sensor over there also. And to start up that system, there is a start button, push button is there, and also for the counter clockwise and clockwise rotation there are solenoid valves, you can see here, SOL1 and SOL2. so this is what instruments we need to have to kind of control that robotic arm. I hope you understand it. If you haven't, I will definitely again recommend you go watch first lecture, otherwise you will be too much confused. So now as for the system itself, it's going to be very easy when you press the start button. As we studied the process of it last class, where we were talking about when we will press the start button, robotic arm will start moving on which direction, clockwise direction, until it reaches to the conveyor A. So when we will start the button, start the push button, arm will rotate clockwise. Now how long it should be moving on towards clockwise direction, definitely answer is until it reaches the conveyor A position. So as I told you, there is a sensor LS1 to detect whether you can see here LS1 for the clockwise rotation. There's a cutoff point for clockwise rotation, that is LS1. This limit switch will give you one signal, or it would be high when you reach to the conveyor A position. So when you are at the right position, this LS1 is going to give you one signal, and that time LS1 is indication that you have reached to the position of conveyor A. So when you're at the position of conveyor A, or that directly means like your LS1 is high. At that time, what you need to do, you need to turn on that conveyor A. And why we are not it's very as an engineer, it's your responsibility to have energy efficiency in your mind, energy conservation, and all the other things that should be kept in your mind. You should design something that is fruitful and with less energy, with less cost. You're trying to get more benefit out of that particular system or whatever you made. So to be more productive, it's better to turn on the conveyor A when it's needed. It's not the case like all the time conveyor A is running, and when your robotic arm will reach to that conveyor A position, at that time conveyor A will start moving on. And now how long it should move on, right? Definitely when the workpiece from here reaches to that point, and when it reaches to that point, now to detect that whether you are at the right position or not, there is a detect workpiece. So when conveyor is on, then we will just wait for the photo eye sensor workpiece, photo eye sense workpiece. That is indication that something is there right under the robotic arm, and you can easily pick it up. So when the robotic arm will pick up that work, at that time there is another sensor or limit switch LS3 that will give you indication. When it is high, that means the robotics arm already grabs the work, and when it grabs the work, you for sure you have to move on in anti-clockwise direction at that time. So how long you will be moving on towards anti-clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction, for sure. So if you see the flow chart again, when you will press the start button, arm will rotate clockwise direction, and to do that there is a solenoid valve 1, and until when arm is at LS1, that means like arm is reached to the conveyor A position. At that time conveyor A is on. If it is on, yes, then we will wait for the photo eye sensor to see that if something is right under the arm of robotic arm. Yeah, at that time we have to turn off the conveyor A for sure, for energy efficiency, or you can say for energy conservation. Is better to turn off the conveyor A, because otherwise if you're not turning off, not for the only conservation of energy, it's like the workpiece will move on, and we don't need that. So it's better to turn off the conveyor A. And for sure, like when arm will grabs the work, there is a sensor to detect that. So when it will grabs the work, for sure we have to do one thing. What is that? To see that whether it has grabs the work, LS3, right? So when LS3 is on, there's a conditional checks, right? So we are sensing if it is yes, then we will move on further. If it is no, then we will go back and will sense it again and again until it's true. We can move on to the next step. So now once LS3 is on, this condition is true, we will move on to the next step, and here we will turn on the solenoid valve 2. That is for the counterclockwise direction rotation, and until when it is rotating counterclockwise direction until it reaches to the position of conveyor conveyor B. So at that how you will detect it for sure, like there is a limit switch as we studied before. So hold on a second, this LS2 for that purpose it is gonna give you indication that you have reached to the right position. So when you have reached to the right position of LS2, at that time you have to release the work, and once you will release the work, so the sensor that you can see here, LS3, will be 0. That will be a clear indication that robotic arm have already released the work at position of conveyor P. So if it have already, then you can start the process again. We'll see whether start button is pressed. If start button is pressed, we can move on same like that, clockwise direction, and then whole process will repeat itself. So you can easily convert that flowchart to the programming code. If you want me to make a video on that for the conversion of that particular flowchart to the programming code, let me know. I will do it in next class. Till next video, take care and have a nice day.